What's up, YouTube? So before we get started with this video, on First Take, they're going to be talking about how are other teams going to treat the Houston Astros during the regular season. So let's see what they have to say about that.
How ugly do you think this could get for them?
You know, I think, honestly, as they start to play games, it's not going to be as ugly as people think. I think the hit by pitches will be a thing. I think there are going to be pitchers out there that are upset. I mean, there's a lot of players, we've heard from them. There's a lot of anger still with this team. But I do believe once the season gets going, and especially this Astros, they're still a really good team. They're going to win games. And I think a lot of this is going to dissipate, especially when you think about the hit by pitches. Will they still get hit? Yes. Will it be as big of a deal as people think continuing throughout the entire season? I don't think so.
Nah, there's a problem here, and Houston Astros need to pay. Obviously, MLB doesn't want to punish those guys. So it's probably the other teams are probably going to have to do it for Major League Baseball. Like I said, players are going to be get hit by balls. At the drop of a hat, there's going to be fights going on, and the Houston Astros deserve it. I mean, at some point, you have to get to the point where there's going to be martial law or citizens arrest by the other players in Major League Baseball, and they're going to have to take matters into their own hands and punish the Houston Astros. I mean, those guys cheated, blatantly cheated, and they didn't get in trouble. They don't have their championship vacated. They don't have they're not stripped from the record books. They still get to keep the trophy. Yeah, that's a problem, and this is probably going to manifest. It's going to manifest itself in fights and a lot of nasty play going on during the regular season. So let's continue.
Meantime, we've seen pitchers already in the preseason, Jessica, do a version of what Stephen A. recommended. You know, when they were booing, they'd be booing an Astros batter, and the pitcher will hold the ball and let the boos rain down and kind of shame them, which I love. Do you think that? No.
Like I said, that's not enough. They need to be shamed with. I don't mean to sound violent, but they need to be shamed with brawls. Shamed with brawls. And I don't want to hear this. The Houston Astros keep getting fights. People want to fight. That's what happens when you cheat. And not only do you cheat, but you got a World Series ring out of that, and you didn't get in trouble for it. So I don't want to hear anybody crying about the Houston Astros are fighting and they keep getting jumped by other teams and yeah. That's what happens when you cheat. You get caught, but you don't get punished. So I would expect a lot of that. Like I said, so at some point in time, you have to take matters into your own hands. And, you know, the other players in Major League Baseball are going to show them how much they do not appreciate the Houston Astros cheating. And, you know, because how many people got screwed over that? How many other players could have got bonuses, $1 million bonus? That's life-changing money if they would have gone to the World Series. But instead, they got cheated out of it. You know? I mean, this is a lot of stuff that the Houston Astros did that they still need to pay for it. And I'm sorry, but a little bit of blood might have to be spilled. And some teeth might have to be knocked out. So let's continue.
You know, like, the question for me is, can we get the Yankees-Dodgers World Series that the Astros have certainly cheated the world out of?
So actually, Max is right. All they really need to do is give the LA Dodgers the championship and everything will be cool. So I don't know. Continue.
Last several years, it looks to me like they cheated the Yankees out of 2 World Series trips in 3 years.
I had an over-under for when Yankees would get mentioned as soon as we started talking,
Smart
Max,
woman.
and I knew we were going to get in there.
Yeah, we are talking baseball. And back to the Houston Astros cheating thing. I'm telling you, at the drop of a hat, teams, if I was playing baseball and I was on other teams, at the drop of a hat, we'll be ready to fight. If anybody on opposing team is having a bad day for whatever reason, you got cut off on traffic, you stub your toe on a table or whatever situation, and you're having a bad day, well, you're playing the Houston Astros today, time to take it out on them. You can hit the players with balls. You want to fight somebody, well, the Houston Astros are in town, so let's get it. Let's get it. And I don't want to hear any excuses or any crying and whining from the Houston Astros when they get shabby treatment when they go to other stadiums. Especially they should look for some retaliation if they start hitting dongs left and right. And the other teams can be like, wait a minute, are these guys cheating again? We need to go ahead and slow that down and knock out some teeth. So let's continue.
I know. We're going to go right to the Yanks, of course. No, I mean, I believe that's what the world wants. That's what baseball wants. I mean, when you look on paper, although I do have to say with the Yankees losing Luis Severino, I think this is going to be a bigger thing than people think. I mean, coming into the season, I had the Yankees and the Dodgers as the 2 World Series teams, but I do feel like with their starting rotation, Max, no one knows this better than you. This was their biggest weakness. Yeah, they won 103 games, but if you were going to find where they were weak, it was in their ERA, their starters rotation. Adding Garrett Cole is huge, but losing Luis Severino, I wouldn't just automatically count them in for the World Series.
So, anyways, back to the Houston Astros. Like I said, if they go to opposing teams' houses, expect some bad treatment from the fans because the fans aren't going to appreciate it either. They're not going to appreciate that they've been cheated out of championship and cheated out of having certain players because you guys cheated. You guys cheated and won a World Series. That changed the timelines for so many situations. The butterfly effect is directly in effect with so many situations that you can't even look at. You can't even understand what it would be. So, needless to say, the Houston Astros, be ready when you go to opposing stadiums for those fans to be acting kind of crazy, and be ready for your locker room to be messed with. I don't want to say anybody's stealing stuff from them, but have their locker room might be trashed. The players' cars slash tires or whatever type of situation. Like I said, a lot of people don't appreciate cheaters like that. And on top of that, they didn't get in trouble and they know they cheated. So I don't mean to sound violent or anything like that, but that's how bad cheating is. That's how people handle cheaters when you do something like that. So I don't know. Let's continue.
Jessica, I want to go back to what Max had alluded to because I was going to ask you about this. You know, I said that baseball has a history, obviously, of policing itself, which I think in and of itself is a travesty in this day and age because on far too many occasions, we see other leagues that don't have the luxury of being able to police themselves. There's always intervention from the higher-ups to really reel folks in. I think baseball should apply to baseball to some degree as well. But my question to you would be this. Rather than hitting guys with pitches or whatever, again, holding the ball for a little bit longer to shame them. Again, sitting there and putting yourself in a position where, you know what, you don't shake their hand, you don't talk to them. You do little things that remind.
Oh, come on, man. This isn't Little League, all right? They're playing with the big boys. This is the major league where millions of dollars are being earned and potentially, won with World Series and just a World Series ring. That's a major life achievement, and they would cheat out of it. So I don't want to hear this, they hold the ball while the crowd boos them for a couple minutes, and then they don't want to shake hands. No. We're past that. We're past that a long time ago. So like I said, I don't want to get violent, but we might have to get violent, okay? I'm not talking about, spitting out teeth and knocking teeth, but I'm just saying make sure your dental coverage is up to par when you come play my team, because that's a problem. Houston Astros, you guys blatantly got caught cheating. You didn't get in trouble. You come to town, it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good. Again, I don't promote violence, but, let's keep going.
Everyone of how they cheated in 2017. Do you think that baseball is capable of doing just that without going as far as hitting guys with pitches or doing things of that nature? You think baseball is capable of that?
I do think it's capable of that. I also think the biggest thing they can do, I'll take it a step further, is beat them. I mean, I think that's ultimately the biggest goal is, not that the Astros didn't have a target before because they were so good, but I think now, if you're talking any team that plays this team, they are going to do everything within their power to beat them. And I just feel like, to me, yes, you can hold the ball, get the boos, you can brush them off the plate, you can hit guys, you can do all these things. At the end of the day, if this 2020 Astros team doesn't win 90-plus games, it's a loss. And that's where I think you can hurt them the most, because now that they aren't able to cheat, they're not doing the sign stealing. If their numbers go down and you can affect them that way, I think that's where you hit them the hardest.
So, that sounds good and all. It sounds cliche. Well, if you want to beat the bad guys that have been cheating, just beat them. Just win. Nah. It goes deeper than that. At some point, you have to go looking beyond just the win. You have to put emphasis on that win. Like I said, there needs to be a couple brawls. Guys need to be getting hit with balls. The locker room needs to be tampered with. So there's a big problem here, a very, very big problem. And like I said, you can't just let it go by, let's not shake hands or, let the crowd boo them. This is a major, major issue. And I don't want to hear anything from the Houston Astros talking about XYZ happened to them while they were in opposing stadiums, because this is what you get. This is what you get when you cheat. You get caught. You don't even get punished. You don't get punished. And especially, I can't wait to see what happens when the Houston Astros start hitting dongs left and right in the game and the team's starting to go down by 2 or 3 scores. And they're going to be like, well, wait a minute, what the heck is going on here? And then the fun's really going to start because people are going to think, they're cheating again. So people are going to be getting hit with balls. There's going to be all types of things going on. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
Jessica, I want to talk about the Dodgers. They're the co-favorites to win it all, along with New York. 7 straight playoff appearances, 2 World Series appearances, no titles. How big of a fail would it
Yeah, and Kershaw's coming through this year.
be if they don't get it done again?
I mean, this is the pressure, right, Molly? I mean, you think about the Dodgers. We've talked about this. I mean, the Kirk Gibson home run is the replay that the Dodgers are so sick of seeing because all they want, and it is not just get to the World Series, they've got to win it. The pressure is at an all-time high, and it's been there for 5 years now, but it has never been higher, Molly, than now being able to get Mookie Betts, to have David Price. I mean, this team has never been better, in my opinion. So not only is this a World Series best team without a doubt in the National League on paper, but if they don't win it, it's a failure not within LA, but within all of baseball and the expectations that are now on this team.
Yeah, so definitely I've always been a guy that thinks the Dodgers can definitely take care of business, which they haven't been doing to the level that they should be doing, especially because of Mr. Kershaw. But I think this year he'll come through. He'll definitely come through.
Surely we can all rejoice in the fact that the Red Sox lose one of the best outfielders in his prime just to save a few bucks in Mookie Betts. I love that as a Yankees fan. But Jessica, what about the Angels with Mike Trout? Mike Trout, basically every year of his career, has been the best player in baseball. The greatest start to a career in baseball history. At a certain point, you don't say he's the best 21, 22, 23-year-old player ever. You just say he's the best player ever.
Yes, Mike Trout might be the GOAT already.
But he doesn't win in the postseason, doesn't usually get there, didn't perform great at the plate when he did get there. What is the outlook for Mike Trout and the Angels this year?
They're not going to be a postseason team. And I hate saying that because, Max, I'm with you. I mean, the stage for Mike Trout needs to be in October. I mean, that's when you look at just ratings, when people are watching, there's 162 amazing games going out throughout the season where you can watch Mike Trout. Most people aren't watching him. You want to see him on the biggest stage. You want to see the game's best athlete on that stage. I hate to say it because I want him there too, but when you look at the division, we just talked about the Astros being a 90-plus win team. The Oakland A's, to me, are a 90-plus win team. I don't see how Anaheim, even with Anthony Rendon, the huge acquisition that they got, but the flip side, their starting rotation, I just don't see them getting there in October, and it is a travesty to not have the game's best player on the biggest stage.
So pretty much what you're saying is that any team in California has a chance to go all the way. Anaheim, the Dodgers, the A's, any team in California pretty much has a chance. I'm okay with that. I'm good with that.
I agree. Let me switch gears for a second, Jessica, because I'm unapologetic about the fact that I'd love to see black managers in Major League Baseball, and I love the fact that that's the one good thing that has come out of this Houston Astros fiasco, that Dusty Baker is back in Major League Baseball, because I think he's a great manager, and I'm happy he's there. The flip side is Dave Roberts for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, 7 straight years in the postseason. I hate to say this, but if he can't get it done this year, I mean, is he?
They were stealing signs, Stephen A.
Yeah, exactly. So the only reason why they didn't really do it is because they were cheated out of it. That's why I said there's a huge problem with the Houston Astros, and them they're going to pay. They're going to pay one way or the other. If Major League Baseball doesn't want to do it, then the players will punish them. But on another note, like what that lady was just saying, so some team in California is going to take care of business, whether it be the Dodgers, the Padres, the Angels, the A's, the Giants. I mean, who's going to be? Who's going to be? Somebody in California is going to hold it down. So, I don't know. Let's continue.
I understand. Well, that's 1 year. What about the other 6?
Oh, that was the only year they were stealing
I'm just saying. He